Senator Kamala Harris will be the first person of Indian heritage to be nominated for vice president on a major party ticket. Axios examined the major political implications for the more than 4 million Americans who identify as Indian. The demographic group is one of the fastest growing, wealthiest, and most educated in the U.S. Axios reporter Fadel Allassan has been covering this, and he joins me now from Washington. Fadel, welcome. Thanks so much for being with us. I just want to preface our conversation by saying what I always say when we have these kind of discussions about demographic groups. We both understand no group is a monolith. We were just saying this with my other guest earlier, but to be clear, we're not suggesting in any way, shape, or form this is a monolithic group. That being said, when you look at the map, Fadel, which states is the Indian American community growing the fastest, and how might this demographic impact those battleground states?
Sure. I mean, the Indian American community just throughout has grown massively over the last 2 decades, almost 40% over the last 2 decades. But specifically in the states of Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, and Florida, they've grown exponentially. They've grown 117% in those states. Now, like you said, Indian Americans are one of the wealthiest groups in the United States. So, of course, that's important too, because they have the most capacity to make political donations. So that's of value to candidates in 2022.
Right. That was going to be my next question. What are the factors that play into that, and how has that affected their role in the political arena? I mean, they can then, because they are wealthier, generally speaking, make those contributions to various candidates.
Right. And between 2001 and 2015, about half of the H-1B visas that went out in the United States went to Indian Americans. 90% of those jobs are jobs that require high knowledge in the STEM fields, in science, technology, education, or math. 75% of those require high computer knowledge. So these are high-earning jobs. You just put the graphic on your screen up there. Indian Americans have an annual income of about $139,000. That's more than double America in general, which has about $63,000.
So when you look at all that, how has this growing demographic been reflected in politics aside from Senator Harris's impending nomination? What you point out with the visa situation is an interesting point, given what we've heard, for example, from the Trump administration on that point.
Sure. I mean, there are many ways in which there are nuances to the politics of this. One of them being that the politicians themselves have noticed this exponential growth. They've tried themselves to court the Indian American community, and President Trump has. President Trump just this year, just this February, bought a 6-figure ad buy, or a 7-figure ad buy rather, to target the Indian American community. And that was to coincide with a rally he held in India, where he very much spotlighted his relationship to the Indian president, who's a Hindu nationalist, Modi. And so he's made those attempts to court the Indian American community. But Democrats have as well. The nomination of Kamala Harris for Democrats is significant because studies show that when there is a candidate from either an Asian American background or a Latino American background, those groups are more likely to turn out to vote during the elections.
Right. We remember seeing those images back in February, I believe, when President Trump traveled to India and got that huge reception. People just packed into that arena. Prime Minister Modi appearing there on stage. It really was quite remarkable to see that crowd. All right, Fadel Allassan. Fadel, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.